Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Toku Thrill, yet another GoZyuger episode review. Back again, once again, folks. I am Riley, of course, joined by the wonderful, the legendary, the British Nightster.
That is me. Hello.
Is
What
Goju
up?
Polar good now? Do we like Goju Polar now?
Maybe with I like him more than his first episode, but I'm not sure if I like him.
It's such a mixed bag, that guy.
However, there is good news about this episode.
Oh yes! There
We have
certainly
our theme,
is!
our theme tune is back.
Let's
The
go!
real
Fuck
theme
your
is back.
stupid fucking Goju Polar song! Get fucked! I love fucking that song so much. I was so happy to hear it again.
Me too. I relished in it. I was like, yes, give me this. Oh,
But
what a
this
way to start.
this episode is a classic The Power Rangers Help a Kid episode.
Yeah.
Classic trope that transcends both Power Rangers and Super Sentai, and probably Kamen Rider too. I'm sure Kamen Riders help kids.
Yeah, I mean they probably do. I don't recall any scenarios personally, but I'm sure they exist.
But regardless, it's so I forget what the relationship is between the GoJugers and that chick and her kid.
I think Goju Wolf. Well, she's his landlord or something.
Okay, yeah, because he calls her landlady, but like, why is she around at fucking Ryuji's cafe all the time?
I don't know. Are they related in some way?
I don't
Maybe.
know. Not Ryuji certainly is not related to her because if you recall, in the fake world, they were dating.
No, not I'm Ryuji. I mean,
However,
um,
maybe.
yeah, because it can't be his mother because she's dead. Pretty sure.
And also, she has to be at least in the ballpark of Ryuji's age.
Yeah. Um, Oeru seems pretty close with the kid.
Does that little boy not exist in the fake world, or is Ryuji his stepfather, or is Ryuji his father?
No.
A lot of questions left unanswered about the fake world because now it seems like everything's just back to normal.
I guess it is.
It's very weird. Did Goju Polar do that? Because it's like nothing seems. I thought it was gonna be like the GoJugers are fine, but then everything was different. But now nothing is different, and it feels like a regular GoJuger episode. And there's no acknowledgement that the Earth is different now, and I'm very confused.
And yeah, and there was a return to formula with going back to the challenges and
Yeah, we're
taking.
doing the number one battles again. My theory about calming down on the number one battles has been proven wrong.
And my hopes for not having the people in the monsters anymore was also proven wrong,
Yeah.
which kind of pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie.
So essentially, the quick and dirty plot of this episode, before we go into some specifics, if we could think of any, are so landlady's son has field day at school, and he's not very athletic, so field day makes him embarrassed, so he doesn't want to do field day, so he's all like sad and stuff. And then Goju Polar finds him, and he's what is his name? Kamado? Is that his Christian name?
I think his name is Kamado. Yes,
We'll call him Kamado for now, and if we're stupid, we'll figure it out next time. So
I will.
Kamado happens upon him, and he's like, "What's wrong, little boy?" I'm a god, by the way. And he's like, "If you're a god, then Can you get rid of field day?" It's basically like he's embarrassed to do field day. Kamado's trying to like cheer him up and get him on the right path. And then number one field day guy shows up. And the GoJugers have to do a field day.
Yeah, and it is the most rigged field day in existence.
Very rigged, extremely rigged. I will say though, Kamado's problem solving skills here, I gotta give him props. Where he's
Oh
like, oh,
yeah.
if he's willing to fix games anyway, maybe if I just give him a solid gold jewel encrusted gavel, he'll fix the game for me.
So the first challenge is a three-legged race, and the way that gets rigged is, even though I'm pretty sure the ref is the one that tied their legs together in the first place, the the monsters had white like bands around their ankles, while the GoZyugers had red ones. And it turns out, I mean, actually, you're only allowed to use white bands. If you're wearing red, you're disqualified.
If you're wearing
So,
any color but white, you're disqualified, and it's.
yeah.
But that wasn't the first event, right? I'm trying to remember what the first event was because I know the first event they get disqualified because Kamado calls Goodburn in.
Oh yeah, that was the they threw balls into like a net.
Yeah, they were throwing, it was the ball toss, throwing the balls into the net.
Ball toss.
And then
Yeah, the
Kamado
monster.
calls
Yeah.
Goodburn, and he makes the ground crumble, which causes the net to fall down. So they just start putting all the balls in the net. And then the referee's like, "You cheated, you disqualified."
Which, no, because they weren't the first ones to cheat.
Yeah, because the monster cheated too. And then in the next game, that's the three-legged race where it's Arikuo and Hoeru, and they morph and they win the race. And he's like, "You're disqualified. Foster's the winner." And he's like, "You didn't say morphing was against the rules." And he's like, "No, it's not that. It's the fucking band around your legs.
Wrong color.
Wrong color." But I'm the dude. I'm the Red Ranger. Everything I put on has to be red. Don't you know how this works? Like, it's very important. You got to give us an exception for this sort of thing. We can't break kayfabe like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, uh, the next event I think is the piggyback fight. What the fuck is this event supposed to be?
They called it something like the uh what was it called? Like a jousting thing.
But it
But
just boils down to Kamado morphing and fighting whatever the foot soldiers are called, fucking bellboys. That's what they're called now, because that's
that's
fucking
what I
perfect.
remember them. The Bellboys. Yeah.
So the bellboy, it's just Kamado fighting bellboys with the little boy on his back.
Oh, okay, so I think the actual point of the game was um you piggyback ride on them, and the person on top has to grab the headband of the other person, or like of the other team, and pull them,
Oh, okay.
and then that person is then out, and then the last team with any members standing is the winning team.
And then that event ends, and Kamado goes to talk to the ref. And as Kamado's talking to the ref, the GoJugers see opportunity, and they're like, we're gonna fucking murder you right now, number one field day guy." And they morph. Oh, hey, I forgot to mention something. One of the coolest things that ever happens in Sentai or Power Rangers happened in this episode.
Oh yeah.
Two Rangers morphed off of each other, and it's always awesome.
Yeah, yeah. That was
Uh,
pretty.
yeah, when Rikuo and Hoeru morph during the three-legged race, they engage and they activate, and then they clap both of their engaged hands together, and both instantly transform. But it's great.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see, especially with this team, because it's pretty obvious by now that these guys aren't fond of each other, or like teamwork isn't their strong suit.
Yeah, that second one is kind of true, but I think they're growing fond of each other. At
Yeah.
least four of them are. Maybe Ryuji's still the odd one out. It seems like a subtle thing I noticed is that Sumino and Kinjiro are developing like a sort of particular kinship. Obviously, I'm not implying a romance. There's a big age gap there, but like
Yeah.
they're just like really good friends, and I like that.
You know what it kind of reminds me of, which we kind of spoke about in something else we recorded today?
Yeah.
Kim and Billy.
True. Yeah, it is kind of a similar dynamic.
This is very much Kim and Billy with these two.
For Mighty Morphin Power. I realize we keep mentioning Power Rangers characters, and we should probably tag them with what Power Rangers it's from, just in case people don't know what we're talking about. Because
Yeah,
we talked about Dylan in the first episode, and then we talked about Eric in the last episode, and I don't think we clarified that Dylan is from RPM and that Eric is from Time Force.
yeah, I think from now on we should try to make an effort of, you know, saying,
If we're
yeah,
comparing it to Power Rangers, mentioning what fucking Power Rangers it is.
exactly.
So yeah, Kim and Billy from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, very similar, a little kinship, and I quite enjoy it. Which I never watched the next time on. I don't know if you do, but I always get the first like frame because I don't want to miss anything from like the end of the episode. And from the 1 second I've seen, it looks like next episode might be a Sumino episode, and that's very exciting if that's true.
I hope so, because I love Sumino. And she had a bit of um like highlight in this episode as well with how she was on top. Actually had her drill in that last little game.
Oh yeah! Shout out to
And
Sumino.
I did enjoy that. Sumino for the win.
What else happened in this episode?
Well,
Oh, there was a
Kinjiro cloned himself.
Oh yeah. Is that a power that the Red Kira Major has?
No, but the Red Kira made
No? Go ahead.
you know how he pulled out a notebook and started drawing in it,
Mm-hmm.
and drawings came to life. That is kind of a power that Kirame Red has. Is he draws things and then they become actual things.
Oh. Well, I just asked that and you said no. No,
Oh, I thought he meant cloning himself.
no, I meant drawing things and them coming to life.
You know, and that's a power that Kirame Red has.
Yeah. So he draws two Goju eagles and they come to life. And they do a thing. That's pretty cool.
Like the
There's
most
also Oh, go ahead.
like the most famous example of that, I'd say, is in the Senpaija movie, um, with Zenkaija and Kiramager. Um, Juru, who is Kirame Red, draws battleizers for Zox and Kaito, and they're like Kiramager based upgrades, and he draws those. Funnily enough, he needs a material for it to work, and in that case, it was the tears of his friend Mabushina because she cries crystals. So she cried when uh, people started chopping up onions and wasabi to make her cry, and then that those tears appeared in a tray, which flew towards Juru and made the new battleizers, which
Interesting.
is strange.
But we
Yeah,
get the sort of Goju Polar redemption, first blush, where so he's been trying to help the kid the whole time, obviously, make him realize that he's not inferior or whatever. And then at the climax, we find out that the number one field day boy is actually another little kid who was had similar feelings about field day and then was turned into a no one about it. And the little kid's like, you, or the landlady's kid, I don't know this kid's name. Landlady's kid's like, you want to train together so it's less embarrassing and we have fun? And he's like, yeah. And it's a nice little happy ending. And then little bear, little Kuma boy, whatever you call him, he flies up, starts printing out a bill, and he's like, "Don't forget about the helper bill." And the kids just ignore him. But then Kamado walks up, he takes the bill, he rips it, and he says, "Sometimes a little bit of pro bono work is okay." As he looks at the kids happy and playing,
Yeah.
which like
Very wholesome way
W, but
watching
like
entire team smile at them.
it was nice, but it's like I can't be fully sold on Kamado. I can't be fully sold on Kamado until he like apologizes to Hueru for being such a dick. That's when Kamado comes around for me. Because he's still calling Hueru fucking second rate or whatever he calls second gen,
German.
and putting him down. And he just like he needs to get down with the GoZyugers. He seems to like almost resent them.
Yeah, which kind of the biggest first step I think needs to be stop calling Hueru second gen. Start calling him
Yeah.
by. Then you can start to slowly earn our trust.
Because
I
Hueru
mean,
fucking mogged you last week, if you recall. You fucking tried to sneak punch him and he was like, "Nah, bruh. Don't even play with me.
he caught that shit.
Don't even fucking front, dog."
And just like I said last week, he marvelous to that. That was a freaking marvelous move he pulled with a punch.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Man, this is
Yeah,
gonna
with
be a 20-minute video. What the fuck else is in this episode that's worth speaking of?
I don't
I guess there's a
know.
little there's something with Bouquet. I think they're kind of trying to subtly show that Bouquet is kind of falling out of love.
Like she had a conversation with June Vega, Tega June, whatever her name is, and then she was the one in the mecha fight.
To be clear, falling
It-
out of love with being evil, not falling out of love with Rikuo.
yeah, I figured that's what you meant. And Tega June said something that confused me a little bit because she said something like she needs to find her true pilot. I'm like, don't you already have your true pilot? Like, isn't
No, you
that
know who our true pilot is?
oh,
It's Kamado. I can read the plot like the fucking back of my hand. It's fucking Kamado, because Goodburn was destined to find him, because he's the destined pilot. So there's gonna be a plot later where she's gonna try to corrupt Kamado. I could read this plot like the back of my hand.
I thought it was gonna be by Gary Udo.
And that's who it was supposed to be, but he fucked it up, I guess. He wasn't good enough. Which he actually was not in this one. He wasn't in the last. You thought he wasn't in the last one, and he was, but he was not in this one for real.
He was not. Yeah, I was paying much more attention this time. I would have clocked him, and he wasn't there. Yeah. So Bouquet and uh, Polar are in the mechs, and they do this obstacle course from like that was given to them by the ref, and the the only obstacle that I can recall was there was a set of two double doors. One of them led to victory, and the other led to a mud pit. And Bouquet was like, "All right, well, I don't want to get muddy. A lady shouldn't get muddy, but she chooses the wrong door anyway."
Tragic.
It's just like I don't even care anymore. She leaves. So that's all I can remember. Why can't I remember anything else from this episode?
Because we should probably do GoZyuger first. Is why.
Yeah,
I feel like a show that's in Japanese and that we're watching for the first time entirely, is a little harder to recall everything. So maybe we should start flipping that order. Because we recorded today's Megazord Radio before this, and I think our mental capacity was kind of tapped during that.
yeah, it is true. That shit just kind of happens, I guess.
Shit happens. I mean, We can just do wrap up questions. It'll be okay. Who was your favorite character today?
Uh, it's a tricky one for this episode, and I might give it to someone that you might not expect.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm gonna say Kinjiro.
Interesting.
I just really liked his like the subtle things that he showed this episode.
I will say I am coming around on Kinjiro. I have started to forget how weird it is that he's an old man. Kinjiro's working for me now. It's
Yeah,
only Ryuji who's not working for me, and I hope he becomes. I hope he. I hope Sword tells him that he's stupid.
I want to
He's like, I'm not
um,
God. I'm just Sword.
I want to like Ryuji because I love his suit. I love the whole T Rex thing because it actually feels more like a real T Rex than most other T Rex ranges that we've had in the past.
It's always interesting to see a TX Ranger who's not red because it's so rare.
That too. I think this is this the first one?
Um, I think there's one other. No,
Because
it's the first one in Sentai, but there's also Zenith Ranger.
Zenith Ranger, does he count? We
I
barely
don't
see
know.
him in this. Could he go to Morphin Master pretty freaking quick? Yeah,
I mean, we see more Zenith than we do of Orange.
which is a crime.
Yeah.
Justice done. But who was your favorite character to this episode?
Uh, I think I'm gonna go with Hoeru, which I think I also did last week. But
Fair.
he was good in this episode. He just wanted to have a fun field day because he was sad about his childhood. And he was there to he was there to go, and he fucking he did his best like he always does. I'm a big Hoeru fan, guys. Sumino is my
He,
favorite one, I promise, but she just doesn't get a lot of focus.
she needs more focus, and we're hoping that's what we get next week.
Hopefully so. Now we get a rated out of 10, which I think it's definitely better than the last one, which we both gave a 7.5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 8.5. Probably not. I was gonna say 9 going in, but it's probably not quite a 9. I feel like you have to be a little bit more significant to be a 9, but solid 8.5. I had a good time.
I was just going to round it up to a solid 8, but I can definitely see the 8.5. It was a really good episode.
It was a fun premise. I like that they're doing a field day.
Yeah. Which is a really weird coincidence that they had a field day in the Sentai episode that we reviewed today, and also in the Power Rangers one that we recorded today was also kind of field day-ish with
Yeah,
the
the
yeah.
oddball games.
That's a weird coincidence.
A little bit. Fate works in mysterious ways, folks.
It does.
But yeah, I think that's about gonna do us for this episode of GoZyuger. Not a very deep one, but pretty fun and enjoyable.
Indeed.
Do you have any sort of predictions for anything that's coming down the pipe?
Hmm. I think that eventually Tega June is going to be all about like she'll find out about Polar's thing about corrupting the rings because that was something else that was brought up this episode, and she'll try and use that to trick him into turning against Undergo Jujers. I feel like that's going to be a plot point.
Okay, interesting. I
What about
wonder where
you?
the whole Garudo thing is gonna go. That's kind of my main big question right now. Cause like fucking 8 episodes ago, it feels like there was that end of the episode where he was like, where you better fucking kill me, bro. And we see that there's a giant fucking painful X-shaped gash in his back that's like glowing and fucking supernatural. And it's obviously causing him great pain, so he wants his brother to kill him, and that just never comes up again.
And apparently he seemed to try and help Huero at some point.
He did. He saved whoever's ring is what is implied because it's like because Tegasword's like somebody must have saved his ring, and then it cuts to fucking Garyudo, and he's like, ah, yeah, I guess it sucks that he has his ring, huh?
Yeah. So maybe he's gonna join the others, have a Stacy situation.
Maybe so.
Who knows?
There's another prediction in my head. Now I forget what it was. I mean, I predicted what's probably going to be close to the end of the show's big plot because I know it's going to be Kamado. They're going to get him. They're going to make him pilot Good Burn, try to change the world, and then he's going to get freed at the last minute through the power of friendship. I already know how GoZyuger ends, but as far as what happens in between. Oh, so I had this conversation with Crow Royalty off air about GoZyuger, and I figure I'll have it with you. Do you
Right.
think that there's a weird thing missing from this season? That it's very strange that we're missing 17 episodes in. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Uh well, we've got our Six Ranger, we've got Megazords, we've got
Well, you well, it didn't trigger in your mind, so we
oh, we
don't
don't
have
have
Megazords. We have Zords. There is no mecha combining in GoZyuger as of yet. Do you
I
think there's a Tega Megazord in our future?
I don't think that's gonna be a thing because of the logistics. Because it's Sword kind of fusing with I can't remember exactly how it works, but I think there can only be one at a time unless there's special circumstances.
Yeah, something would have to change in order for it to happen. And it's like I don't know what direction they're gonna go. Maybe they'll do a Tega Megazord, or my idea was auxiliary Zords, but I guess that doesn't really happen as much in modern Sentai, I'm told. So I imagine Goodburn and Tegasword are gonna combine at some point.
That might be a possibility. Those two combining.
Maybe
I could
Goodburn and Tegasword combine, and it comes from the essence of all six of them, and it's essentially a Megazord, even though it's just Tegasword and Goodburn combining.
yeah. It kind of feels more like an Ultra Zord to me, but I could see that.
But all right, folks. Thanks for watching Toku Thrill today. Nightstar, where can our listeners find you?
You can find me here with everyone else, and you can also find me on my solo channel, Nightstar. And you can find me and Riley talking about Power Rangers weekly on Wednesdays over at Megazord Radio.
That's right, folks. Check it out. And if you want to see other things I do, besides Toku reviews, you can go to linktr.ee/Riley Cinematic Universe. That's RIELY Cinematic Universe. So many podcasts and YouTube channels and stuff. A lot of it is just like general comedy. I try to do shows that don't fully encapsulate around nerd shit sometimes. So if you're interested in that at all, go check it out. But folks, thank you once again for watching Toku Thrill. I've been Riley,
I've been Nightstar.
and we'll see you next week for another GoZyuger.
Goodbye.